powerfully express some deeply nursed dissatisfaction with the state of affairs in their city and country. These city dwellers, urged by their frustrations against the poor state of roads, sanitation, markets, and street lights, decided to take to the streets calling for improvement and better management. The situation of this part of the country lends further credence to the poor treatment of Anglophones as second-class citizens, and thus their call for secession. Both the young and old, and even children as young as 11 years, were seen ready to die and brave the odds in search of equality and justice in a part of a country that has suffered gross neglect and injustices. I made a reconnaissance tour of the town at 5 p.m. following the events of Monday, 21st November 2016. Roadblocks were mounted all across town, and the population was resolute about fighting for what they believed in. I prevailed on them to protest peacefully. This call was generally heeded to, though there were spotted instances of destruction. The total breakdown in peace and calm was only later provoked by the trigger-happy officers heavily deployed with orders to shoot and kill unarmed protesters. These officers shot live rounds, tons of gas canisters, and used water cannons on peaceful protesters and students. To make matters worse, once again, I became a target of their calculated design to eliminate me. On Tuesday, 22nd November 2016, at about 1:30 p.m., some members of the armed forces moved to my residence, pounding it with gas canisters and live ammunition. Despite my son's attempt to stop them from shooting, they almost killed him. This is not the first time this regime has made an attempt on my life and on my temperament. In the early 90s, helicopters heavily shelled my residence. Several shots were fired at me in Quen, and my car burned down by members of the armed forces. I was subject to a house arrest and watched helplessly as my mother was brutalized, kicked in the stomach, and dragged in the gutter. In Depipson, I was shot in the leg and heavily tear-gassed. In Yaoundé, my car was ambushed and bashed by water cannons to kick it off the cliff. We managed to escape and sought refuge in the Dutch embassy. During the Bepanda 9 protest, water cannons hit me with the intention of having me killed. I have been attacked by members of the armed forces and administration all over the country in places like Golfong, Fuma, Banga, etc. during political rallies. I have been insulted and called a Biafran by the administration. Despite all these attempts and provocative acts, I have remained steadfast in my quest for a peaceful evolution of our nation, mainly because of the fragility of this country. When the people who have the right to protest and ask for better from their government are rather met with martial law and brutality, they are left with nothing else but total disobedience, protest, and violence. The escalating tide of events in this city is caused entirely by the rather boorish, hawkish, and brute response of the forces of law and order. It is such unchecked behavior that threatens the peace we work for on a daily basis. It is that behavior that the people of Bamenda and Cameroonians at large are tired of and want to change from. This is the story of Cameroon today. From the north to the south, east to west, there is a total discontent and lack of trust in public authorities and the institutions that govern them. There has never been a more defining moment in the history of this nation than now. Consequently, I am calling on government to withdraw completely all troops deployed from other regions into Bamenda. Bamenda is no battleground, and its people are not deserving of such treatment. Calling on Mr. Biya to take prompt action and resolve the problems of the common law lawyers and teachers unions, with whom we stand in solidarity because we agree that this is a bilingual, bicultural, and bijural country. Calling on Mr. Biya to table the well-known Anglophone problem, which is not only limited to the worries of lawyers and teachers, but one of gross neglect, marginalization, non-respect of terms of the reunification. History is beckoning us now to effect necessary changes required for the cohesion of this country. Signed this 23rd day of November 2016, me John Truly, National Chairman.